Great, thank you, Associate Superintendent Rabbit. I'm now going to ask Superintendent Huppenthal to come up and read his statement. And just to reiterate, if the superintendent has to leave before all of your questions are answered, I'll be happy to try and answer them for you after he's done. So, Superintendent.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you, Associate Superintendent Rablick, for your analysis. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank you all for coming today. In my role as State Superintendent of Public Instruction, I have a legal responsibility to uphold the law and a professional imperative to ensure every student has access to an excellent education. For those of you who know me, I try to approach each issue carefully, making sure that I've reviewed all the information, data, and facts before coming to a conclusion. That is why I carefully deliberated on this determination on whether or not Tucson Unified School District was in compliance with Arizona Revised Statute 15-112. As Associate Superintendent Rablick outlined with great clarity, the Tucson Unified School District Governing Board failed to provide statutorily required curriculum development and oversight over its Mexican American Studies program. The Tucson Unified School District Governing Board failed to adhere to its own adopted policies on curriculum development and its text and material approval process. In order to determine whether or not Tucson Unified School District Mexican American Studies program violates any of the provisions of ARS 15-112, the Arizona Department of Education conducted an investigation and review of the program and its classroom materials and instructional content. I want to first address the foundation for my decision and the independent curriculum audit. This audit was a limited part of the overall investigation that the department had conducted. I specifically had several concerns with the audit. First, 2/3 of the final audit report was beyond the scope of the legal determination that I'm making today. Second, the Tucson Unified School District Administration knew which week the on-site classroom reviews and interviews would be taking place. In addition, only 37% of the Mexican American Studies program classrooms were observed. Most classrooms were visited just once and for only 30 minutes. I want to stress that few materials were available to be observed in the classroom and were provided to the auditors. Finally, while invited to participate in the curriculum audit process, key leadership in the Mexican American Studies Department refused to cooperate, including the director of the department. Despite these limitations, we were able to accumulate substantial information from many sources. I used the facts found within that information to render my determination today. Before I declare my findings, I will lay out the relevant state statutes. ARS 15-112 reads as follows: prohibited course and classes enforcement. A school district or charter school in this state shall not include in its program of instruction any courses or classes that include any of the following. 1. Promote the overthrowing the U.S. government. 2. Promote resentment towards a race or class of people. 3. Are designed primarily for pupils of a particular ethnic race. And 4. Advocate ethnic solidarity instead of the treatment of pupils as individuals. It is important to note that a violation of any one of these 4 provisions constitutes a violation of the entire statute. I find Tucson Unified School District in violation of 15-112A2, promote resentment towards a race or class of people. The materials gathered by and submitted to the Arizona Department of Education, as well as the materials auditors reviewed, contain content promoting resentment towards a race or class of people. Just a few examples of the evidence supporting this finding include reviewed materials repeatedly referring to white people as being oppressors and oppressing the Latino people. Reviewed materials presenting only one perspective of historical events, that of Latino people being persecuted, oppressed, and subjugated by the hegemony, otherwise known in this material as white America. I find Tucson Unified School District in violation of 15-112A3 are designed primarily for pupils of a particular ethnic race. In addition to the reviewed classroom materials and instructional content, the Mexican American Studies Department website clearly indicates the program is designed primarily for pupils of a particular ethnic race. Just a few examples of the evidence supporting this finding include the TUSD Mexican American Department website itself. It displays a chart of the Mexican American Studies model, which is the foundation for its program and is explicitly designed for Latino students. Much of the reviewed materials address the reader as being of Latino origin and thus part of an oppressed people. This finding is supported by the fact that an extraordinarily large percentage of the students enrolled in program classes are Latino, over 90%, compared to the Latino student population at Tucson Unified School District, which is 60%. I find Tucson Unified School District in violation of 15-112A4. Advocate ethnic solidarity instead of the treatment of pupils as individuals. Please note that much of the evidence supporting violations of subsection A2 also indicate violations under subsection A4. An example of the evidence supporting this finding includes reviewed Mexican American Studies materials repeatedly emphasize the importance of building Latino nationalism and unity versus identifying students as individuals. As a result of the investigation and review of Mexican American Studies program and its classroom materials and instructional content, I find there is substantial evidence of a clear violation of Arizona Revised Statute Section 15-112 by the Tucson Unified School District. The Tucson Unified School District Governing Board has 60 days to bring the Mexican American Studies program into compliance with ARS 15-112. Failure to do so shall result in the withholding of 10% of the monthly apportionment of state aid to the Tucson Unified School District until such time as they come into compliance. I will now take a few questions.
Mentira lo que dice, mentira lo que da, mentira lo que hace, mentira lo que va. La mentira, mentira la mentira, mentira la verdad, mentira lo que cuece bajo la oscuridad.